Hi guys, Sarah here, and welcome to Novel Expectations. Today I'm coming to you with my 18th weekly wrap-up of 2016. So, I actually had a pretty disappointing reading week. I did finish 2 books this week, but neither one was that great, but I still did want to come on here and talk to you guys about them and give you my review. But let's first start off with my challenges. So, starting with my Goodreads challenge, I am still 4 books ahead of schedule for the year, which is great. For my A to Z author challenge, I am still only at 14 out of 26 books completed. For my A to Z title challenge, I'm now up to 17 out of 26 titles completed, which is great. For my 2016 How Many Pages challenge, I have now read 10,172 pages out of 25,000 pages, which puts me at 40%. Not too shabby for just the end of April. So at the rate I'm going, that's roughly about 10% a month. That's really good. And for my Jelly Belly Jelly Bean challenge, I still haven't finished any flavors yet. So let's talk about the 2 books. The first one was Sweet Dreams on Center Street by Sheila Roberts. This is the first book in the Life in the Icicle Falls series. I gave this book 2.5 stars. This is the follow-up, or I guess the first book in the series to the one that I read last week, which was Welcome to Icicle Falls, which I really didn't like. This one, I really did have a hard time not finishing. The reason I did complete it is because the story itself was really good. I liked the premise of it. I liked the plot of it. I wanted to find out what was going to happen and how it was all going to turn out. So, the basic premise of the book is about a woman named Samantha, who runs the family business. At the very beginning of the book, her stepfather has just passed away. And her dad had passed away about 5 years ago, and her mother remarried, and then her stepfather passed away. Well, when him and her mother got married, the mother pretty much handed over the business, this chocolate shop and factory, to him, and he pretty much ran it into the ground because he had no sense for business. So the entire book, Samantha's pretty much trying to save the business because it's about to go into foreclosure, because the bank's going to call upon it to note, and all this stuff. I didn't like Samantha at all. She spent the entire book complaining about what Waldo, the stepfather, did. I mean, and then in the next breath she would say, oh, but he was such a nice guy. Well, you can't have it both ways. And she still worked there. In my opinion, at any point, she could have stepped in and said, hold on, can I help? You know, something, instead of just letting him do it and then her having to pick up the pieces later. If he hadn't passed away, the business probably would have just, like, gone belly up or something. But anyway, during this entire time, she has to deal with the bank manager, Blake. And, of course, that's where the relationship comes in. It was a really interesting story, a very interesting premise. I just really didn't like Samantha, and her mother, whom was in the focus of the novella that I read last week. She was in this one, and I really had a hard time feeling sorry for her. I know that sounds absolutely horrible, but it just, mother and daughter, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. Let's put it that way. The other 2 sisters, Cicely and I want to say Bailey, they were awesome, and I really liked them, and I really hope they get their own books. Now, bearing all this, am I going to continue with the series? And the answer is yes. Every other character that I met in these books, I loved. I thought they were fantastic. Muriel and Samantha, not so much. So, I still want to continue on because I want to see how the author deals with characters that I actually do like. It's nothing against the author's writing. It was just the characters and I did not connect. The second book that I finished this week was Little House in the Big Woods by Laura Ingalls Wilder. This is the first book in the Little House series. I decided to reread this one as some of my childhood, back to my childhood books, because I saw a lot of people on BookTube talking about them, and I think it's Emily, and Emily, I'm so sorry, dear, I can't remember your channel, but I think behind her, she's got that yellow box set that I want to get my hands on again. I've been looking everywhere, but she has that, so it just brought it to my attention. I thought, I really want to reread these books. So I started, of course, with Little House in the Big Woods, and I only gave this book 3.5 stars. I don't remember how much I enjoyed it as a child. I remember certain things about the book very vividly. The Christmas chapter, for some reason, that's always stuck in my head, and I think it's because of how simplistic and how family oriented and the fact it was Christmas really stuck out in my head. My issue with these books, or with this book in particular, excuse me, and please don't get me wrong, I know it's meant for a child. I know it's meant for like, 8 to 12 or maybe even younger than that. There's no plot in the first book. There's no plot. It's essentially her diary for a year. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I get that for a kid to kind of explain more what life was like living in that time period, in that place. But it was a little boring, to be completely honest. And the other thing that I don't think ever affected me as a child, but did now, was they were pretty graphic in the explanations of how some of the animals were killed. Again, this is for a child to read. I'm not too sure it was really needed to find out that they boiled the pig. And I was talking to a friend of mine about this, and she was laughing because she grew up on a farm, whereas I grew up in the city. She said to me, well, if you grew up on a farm, you were exposed to this stuff as a child. And yeah, I totally get that. But the majority of people nowadays are not. And, but even maybe for the time period it was written in the 1930s, maybe that was more commonplace. I don't know. I just didn't care for it. I've heard from other people who have said to me, the series does get better. There's only, 9 books in the series? I'm going to read all of them again, just to be able to have read them as an adult. But this one, I really just didn't enjoy. So what books am I currently reading? So the first book I'm currently reading is All of Me by Jennifer Bernard. This is the very first book in the Love Between Bases series, and I'm only about a chapter or two in, and so far I'm loving this book. I am such a huge baseball fanatic, go Red Sox, and this book just, like the first chapter talking about the main character, I can't remember his name now because like I said, I'm only 2 chapters in, on the pitcher's mound and all the baseball terminology and everything like that. This just thrills me. So Jennifer Bernard is a fantastic author. I have read some of her Firefighter series, which was really great as well. So I'm really looking forward to reading this book and continuing on with the series. The second book that I'm currently reading is actually a print book. I know, I'm reading a print book. I will get into that at the end of the week. Stay tuned. I actually have a book haul coming at the end of this week that I'm going to post. I'm going to film it soon, but I'm going to post it for the end of the week. Anyway, I actually picked up some physical copies of books. So I just started this one yesterday, and it's The Lost Daughter of Pigeon Hollow by Ingrid Cooper. This is a Harlequin super romance novel. Oh, sorry for the glare, guys. The weather today, it's really rainy, so I apologize for the lighting. It's not the best. But anyway, like I said, I'm just a chapter or 2 into this. I will let you guys know what I thought about it, hopefully next week. And the last thing that I'm currently reading, I'm still reading Trust No One, which was edited by Jonathan Mayberry. It is an X-Files anthology, and it's narrated by Bronson Pinchot and Hillary Hubbard. I'm about 25% of the way through it, and I'm really enjoying it. If you're interested, as I go along to find out what I think about each of the stories, as I finish one of the stories, I'm actually giving it a star rating on Goodreads. I have a list in my review, and as I finish each one, I'm going to give them a star rating, and from there I will decide on the overall rating for the book. So my plan is when I do review it is not to review each individual story, but maybe pick a few of my favorites and maybe a few that I didn't like and why I didn't like them, and we'll go from there. So like I said, I'm only 25% of the way through this one. I haven't had a lot of time this week to listen to my audiobook, so I'm hoping to be able to do that next week, and I'm really hoping I can get this one done for next week for you guys. But anyway, that's it from me. Have any of you read any of these books, and what were your thoughts? Am I alone with how I'm thinking about The Little House in the Big Woods book? I would love to know your thoughts on that. So please post in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys next time. Take care and happy reading. Bye.